What we do here is go back.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mello. Over the weekend, an interview went viral and it had everybody on TikTok cutting up. And I just want to say, if y'all got any cheer with an in shot, turn the volume down, because this video for grown folk. So a young woman by the name of Tumelo went viral for clapping back at a woman interviewing her. Now, nobody knows how we got here. We were all minding our business before that good old Easter Sunday. Then all of a sudden, everybody was sucked into UK TikTok. Now, this all seems to stem from a video that Tumelo uploaded. Check this out.
Malachi from South London, I did not cheat you. You just nyam my batty and went home. Don't try to tell your guys I cheated you, you know. Your own guys don't rate you, sis. You're work class. Go get a job. Go get a job, sis. Your own guys don't rate you. They're here telling me, oh, he's saying he cheated you. Are you fucking mad? Are you fucking mad? I made you nyam my batty and go home. You didn't even get to nyam the cooch. I made you nyam my asshole. It don't even feel good. Shitty mouth. See, you just chat shit, that's why.
That TikTok is then what led to Tumelo appearing on the Off the Record platform. Now, the interviewer in question is a woman named Made Oni, and everyone seems to feel like she was the one being disrespectful. I went and watched the whole interview, so you don't have to, and I'm about to break it all down. So the interview started off pretty great, I think. Made went into her opening speech, she gave a quick backstory on Tumelo, and she even gave her a nice introduction. Now, from the internet's perspective, you would think Made just came out the gate swinging and was starting shit. But she gave a warm welcome to Tumelo and even greeted her with a nice big smile. She then asked Tumelo, what should we call you? And then she made a joke and said, should it be Miss Troublemaker? But it was all in light fun, you know, nothing to be taken seriously. Tumelo was like, fuck all that, call me Thanos of the UK. And from there, I think the interview was doomed. They then joked around some more and Made asked Tumelo to tell us a little bit about herself. All Tumelo said was that she's 18 and she's from Bristol. Now this is where I started to give Tumelo the side eye. Made then asked her what she does for a living. Tumelo started to get all giggly, she was looking around the room all nervous. She then said she doesn't know what she does for a living. So Made was like, are you working at the moment? Are you in college? And here Tumelo goes again saying she doesn't know. Now at this point, I would have been looking at her crazy too, because what do you mean you don't know what you do for a living? Like, that's a simple question. But from her body language and from the stuttering she was doing, it was pretty obvious that Tumelo doesn't have a job. And I think she was just a little bit too embarrassed to say that. So Made was like, okay, let's just move forward and maybe it'll come to you later. Then Made is like, tell us about Malachi, the boy that you were talking about in the video. And Tumelo said that he was an arrangement, more like a situationship. Now, if you ask me, it sounds like she was hoeing. But that ain't my business and I ain't judging. With the way rent is set up nowadays, you either gotta have a second job or you gotta sell some ass on the side. So she said that her and Malachi met somewhere on the street. Again, sounds like she was hoeing. She said that she was in an area that Malachi lived in because she had an AP there. When Made asked her what an AP was, she said it's an apartment. Now, what does that sound like to y'all? A hoe, right? So Tumelo then said that her and Malachi exchanged Snapchats. So fast forward to Made is like, okay, so what led to y'all meeting and him eating your ass? Like, how did that even come about? Tumelo was like, we were on the phone one day and he was telling me about all these fetishes he's had that he can't tell anyone else. Again, why is this man telling you of all people fetishes that he has that he just met? So Tumelo said that he's into belly button stuff and eating ass. Now, if you're new to this channel, we don't kink shame over here. Like I said, I loves me a good kink. And I firmly believe if you ain't got one, that your sex life is boring. Hell, we all grown. But belly button stuff, that definitely made me laugh. Anyway, apparently Malachi ended up going online and said that the two of them had sex. But Tumelo said that he only ate her bum. That lie is what led to Tumelo exposing him in the video that I showed earlier. Tumelo said that she wanted Malachi's friend, which is why she had to clear the air. Again, side eye. Malachi then went on to continue to say that the two of them had sex. And then the friend went back and told Tumelo, he was like, I don't know if I can take you seriously because my friend is telling everyone that you two were intimate. Tumelo then said that that provoked her because remember, it's the friend that she wants, not Malachi. So after that, Tumelo went online and she ended up dropping that video. She said she didn't expect it to go so far. She only thought that it would stay within London and that Malachi and his friends would see it. So fast forward, she said that her and Malachi were at her hotel. Again, what are you doing at a hotel with a man that you just met? But I digress. So while at the hotel, Malachi was like, can I try something on you? He told her what he wanted to do, and Tumelo asked him how much money he has. Like, girl, if you selling pussy, just say that. Cause at this point, who you trying to fool? Rent's too high, groceries ain't getting no cheaper, and gas is just out of this world. Hell, I would probably sell pussy too if I had one. But you gotta own that. So Medea's like, hold on a second. He told you what he wanted to do, and you asked him how much money he had. And Tumelo was like, yeah. So Medea was like, I'm gonna put a pin in that and we'll come back to it later. Because, yeah, what you mean how much money he got? So apparently Malachi was like, I only have 4 bills now. What the hell that means, I don't even know. But Tumelo said that they could make it work. She then follows that statement up with, because you're not about to harass my ass for free. Medea's mouth was on the floor after that comment. I was over there cracking up laughing. So Medea was like, well, did he pay you up front? Was it after? And Tumelo said that he had to pay before the service. It wasn't an option. Ma'am, what do you mean before the service? Like, what service are you providing? Ultimate, bombastic, side eye. So for 400 pounds, Tumelo went on to explain how Malachi got to eat her bum and self-please himself. Now y'all can put 2 and 2 together on what that last part means. Medea then asked her why the 2 of them just didn't go all the way. And this heifer Tumelo had the audacity to sit up there and say it's because she had a bae at the time. It wouldn't be appropriate. Ho, this ain't the time for morals. So Medea was like, it was appropriate for him to eat your bum, but not for you 2 to go all the way. Now at this point, it's clicking for Medea and she's solving a puzzle piece. She's like, you talking about business and transactions, like, what is your profession? And Medea was like, to me, it's giving prostitution, which it definitely is. It's giving nothing else but that. Tumelo gets to looking around the room all nervous again, and Medea was like, let's just call a spade a spade. Tumelo then says she doesn't feel like she does it on a wide scale, but that she's selective with it. So Medea was like, so you do prostitution on a selective scale? And Tumelo said yes. Then had the nerve to look in the camera and say, sorry, Dad. Like, girl, you got bigger fish to fry now, and Daddy can't save you. So Medea was like, okay, well, how did you get into this? What led an 18-year-old young woman to start prostituting? Tumelo then goes on to say she doesn't see it as that. She said if you want something from her and just that, you should pay for it. Tumelo then went on to say she used to let men suck on her toes for money, and I'm just like, girl. Now at this point, Medea is asking a lot of follow-up questions, but she's not being judgmental. You can see the look on her face that she's genuinely confused, and I think also a little concerned for this woman. Tumelo then goes on to say she realized that men are weird and that some of them should be taken advantage of. Interesting. So Medea's like, well, I saw on your story that you put a list of things that men can do to you. Tumelo went on to explain it's $550 to eat her bum, $650 to eat the front, a 50-pound late fee, and 200 pounds extra for video evidence. Now what the fuck does that sound like to y'all? Cause if that ain't a hoe, I don't know what is. Medea then asked her like, do you have a booking system? Like, how does this work? And Tumelo said no, but she said she is looking for a manager to manage her bookings. And Medea was like, you're looking for a manager to manage your part-time prostitution? And Tumelo says she's thinking about making it full-time. Tumelo then goes into her clientele. She says it's a lot of younger guys, a lot of rappers, and established rappers to be specific. She then goes on to say that she upcharges rappers and the price is anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 pounds. So Medea was like, is this like an OnlyFans type of thing? And Tumelo said she was thinking about starting one, but that she doesn't have the heart to do it. This new generation is so fucked, it's not even funny. So fast forward and Medea's like, are you at all concerned about how you're portrayed online? And Tumelo said no. She said the internet is just the internet. Medea was like, well, how do your friends and family take this? Tumelo said her friends told her to make something out of it, whether it's a career or whatever. And Medea was like, well, what kind of career can you make out of this? And Tumelo said that she could become a rapper. And Medea was like, well, what about your future? How do you think your children will react to this one day? What about your future husband? And what if you try to get a job? Tumelo said she doesn't care about that. Then she said, look at Cardi B and how she started. Now let me say this, say what y'all want, but I am happy I grew up on Nicki. Cardi B really got young girls out here thinking that this stuff is cute and that it's okay. And again, I ain't out here shaming nobody, get in where you fit in, but to be a sex worker at 18, that is a little concerning. She said Cardi B started her career by talking shit and then she got picked up by Love and Hip Hop. And from there, she released Bodak Yellow. She then went on to say no one talks about the days that Cardi B sat around on Instagram and talked shit. So Medea was like, okay, I agree with you in that sense, but do you think that there's a market specifically for that in the UK? She then went on to say, Cardi B is in the US where their entire culture is different. Tumelo says she does think it's possible in the UK for her and she believes that it'll work out for her one day. And Medea told her, she said, I love how positive you're being about it. So fast forward, they ended up talking about Tumelo's father, and Tumelo said that he was in and out of her life. She then said she never had a proper male figure growing up. Now I think anyone anyone with eyes could see that, but I digress. So Madej was like, do you feel like your father being in and out of your life is what contributed you to doing part-time prostitution? And Tumelo said no. She said even if she grew up with her father and she chose to be a whore, that's her decision. She even said people with two parents in the house end up becoming serial killers, which is true. Now this is where the interview just went completely left. Madej then asked Tumelo if she felt any shame when she came online and talked about these things. Tumelo then asked Madej if she felt any shame. Madej was like, well, what is there for me to be ashamed about? Tumelo said, everyone sins in the darkness, I sin in daylight. I think she thought she ate with that one, but her plate was still quite full. Madej was like, okay, but my sin is in the darkness. There is no shame that comes with that. And Tumelo was like, well, you know their shame and God knows their shame. And Madej was like, but it's still not online for the world to see. This is where Tumelo tried to flip the script. She then asked Madej, well, what do guys know about you? And Madej was like, whatever guys know about me is between me and them. And Tumelo was like, is it? Because they probably go out and tell their friends. Madej was like, whatever they go out and discuss with their friends, it's still not been discussed online with over 10 million people like you are. They do a little bit more of the back and forth, and Madej was like, okay, well, to answer the question, you pretty much ain't got no shame. And Tumelo was like, why do you keep asking that? Madej was like, what do you mean? I'm asking you a question. Tumelo said she felt like Madej was trying to provoke her. Honestly speaking, I just think them demons in Tumelo was starting to get agitated. So Tumelo then said, are you attacking me because you're old? And you could tell Madej was taken aback by this. Because, yeah, what you mean old? Tumelo was then like, your generation wouldn't understand mine. And she's right, because as a millennial, I don't understand shit she was saying in this interview. Tumelo then tried to further the insult and said she read somewhere that Madej was 48. And Madej was like, you know what? If I am 48, I look damn good for it. And Madej is a very beautiful woman. You can tell that she's well educated, she's well put together, and that woman looks like she smells good. Now, the coffin in the nail was Tumelo telling Madej that she does look good to be 48 if she is, but that doesn't change the fact that after rave, she was probably getting fucked on behind bins. See, this is where the cameras would have had to cut and Tumelo would have had to meet me at the parking lot. Madej was like, look, you don't know me, so I'm gonna excuse myself. And she left. What people have to realize is that Madej is at work and she has to keep her professionalism intact. I know a lot of you internet hood boogers ain't never had a real job, but you cannot act a fool on the clock no matter how bad you want to. So Madej got up and left. And I think she did the right thing. I'm not about to let some pissy toe girl talk shit to me either. Madej is a grown woman who's trying to conduct an interview and you got yuck mouth over here throwing insults at every chance she gets. Even when Madej walked away, you had Tumelo insulting her talking about some, yeah, slay good ass. Now I think that's UK slang for something, but I don't know. Tumelo then played victim and said she doesn't know why everyone's attacking her. She then said it's the Tumelo show now. She said Thanos of the UK ran the host off her own interview. So Madej ends up coming back and here you have Tumelo taunting her yet again. Talking about some, I love your dress, I love your hair. And Madej was like, well, thank you. You know, it's probably for the older generation. And Tumelo said, definitely, it's given senior. Now here's my thing. What is up with young girls always trying to age shame older women? I am so sick and tired of young girls acting like they themselves won't get older. Like, did somebody crack the code to immortality or am I over here tripping? So Madej was like, let's keep it cute because I don't want to have to come out of character. She was like, I'm trying to keep it professional and I don't want to have to get ignorant. I'm like, I know that's right, Madej. Let that hoe know. Pun intended. They then do the back and forth some more and come to find out, I guess Kai Cenat really didn't reach out to Tumelo like she said he did. Then Madej was like, so you're a liar. And Tumelo said to an extent. Madej was like, there is no to an extent. You're either a liar or you're not. So fast forward, Madej does a great job in redirecting the conversation and they start to get back to the groove of things. You can definitely feel the tension, but the two of them are still pushing through. So Tumelo ends up insulting Madej again and she says something along the lines of, I can tell you're a bit bright. Now I think that's UK slang for like dumb. Tumelo says she's beautiful, but she can tell she was a bitch in school and they probably would have had a few fights. So fast forward, Tumelo said that she plans on turning her fame into notoriety. She said when she walks into a room, she wants people to know who she is. They then start a little bit more of the back and forth, and Tumelo told Madej she felt like she was hated and being judgmental. And honestly speaking, after watching that whole 30-minute interview, Madej was not being judgmental in the slightest. She was actually a lot nicer than I would have been, and I'm a pretty forgiving guy. Madej then asked her, like, what is there for me to hate on? And Tumelo said her youth. Like, girl, whatever fountain of youth you took a dip in, go take another one, yuck mouth. Being a prostitute at the age of 18 is not the flex that you are desperately trying to make it out to be. So Madej was like, yeah, let's wrap this shit up. Tumelo then interrupted her and said that she was wearing Clark's shoes. I don't know what those are, but Madej was like, these are not Clark's, check again. So Madej was like, well, what are you wearing since you want to sit up here and talk about clothes? Here Tumelo go talking about she's wearing Shein and Pretty Little Things. Just your basic average average hoe wear. So Madea was like, yeah, that explains everything. Let's wrap this up. She goes to sign off and Tumelo interrupts her again. Now at this point, Madea was like, I don't even know what to do with you. Like, do I keep it pushing? Do I give it back? Like, what's going on? And Tumelo was like, keep your career, sis. At least you have one at 31. And Madea was like, yes. And hopefully by the time you're 31, you would have grown out of part-time prostitution. And Tumelo said no, but your mom still won. Madea was like, she's definitely not. Let's not even do that. And that's how the interview ended. Now that interview was a complete shit show and it was all on Tumelo's part. This is why it's so important to do your own research and not only to watch bits and pieces of clips of videos online. From TikTok's perspective, you would think that Madea just completely slut-shamed Tumelo. But in truth, Tumelo came on with a hidden agenda and a nasty ass attitude. You're a prostitute at the age of 18 and you really think highly of yourself? Ho, if you don't go sit down and have a slice of humble pie. I think Madea composed herself in a great manner and I think she handled the interview really well. Even after walking away, she was able to come back and redirect the conversation, and that is not easy to do. I say leave Yuck Mouth where she's at and let the chips fall where they may. Tumelo is an insecure, pissy-tail Yuck Mouth whore who obviously has daddy issues. I couldn't get behind anything she said. Even after the interview, Tumelo and Madea ended up exchanging some words behind the scenes.
Things that you said there that I could have done your dance for real. Hold on 1 second. You might be ignorant, but I'm more ignorant than you.
No, I guarantee you.
Trust me, I
guarantee you.
But I'm mature.
You have no choice. You're old.
Okay, you're spitting at me.
You're
now.
old.
You're spitting.
Then back up.
You're spitting.
Then back up.
Just all I'm saying to you is that handle yourself well. You're a very young girl. There's no need for you to behave the way
That's
you
why
behave.
you're jealous. I still have
Jealous of what?
20 years after you're dead of old age.
Madea, I wish nothing but the best for you and wish you continued success in everything that you do. Tumelo, go eat a box of bricks, ho. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that's okay too. Don't forget to drop a comment down below. Now, what do you think about this crazy off-the-record interview? Who do you side with? Are you on Madea's side or are you on Tumelo's side? And as always, if you're not already, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day and I'll catch you all on the next one.